Affirmative Murder is brought to you by the graphic novel Homicide from Macmillan. Originally published in 1991, David Simon's book Homicide is a true crime classic. It was a New York Times bestseller and the winner of the Edgar Allan Poe Award for Best True Crime Book. Simon's Homicide became the basis for the acclaimed television show Homicide: Life on the Streets, and inspired HBO's hit show The Wire, one of the best shows of all time. Now Homicide has been reimagined into a gritty, cinematic graphic novel. It has noir-inspired artwork, which is perfect for the dark tale of the murder and crime. It's perfect for fans of The Wire and other true crime shows and podcasts. Personally, they sent me a copy of this book and I could not put it down. The illustrations are amazing to go along with an already incredible story. And it'll be over before you know it and it'll leave you wanting more. To learn more, go to bit.ly/homicidegraphicnovel.com. That's bit.ly/homicidegraphicnovel.com. Or just grab a copy wherever books are sold. This book's not only a must-read, but it's a must-see too. All right, back to the pod. Hey, what's up, folks? Just a heads up, this episode is the second half of a two-parter, so if you have not listened to episode 1 of this, go back and do so there's no confusion. Thanks for that. What are you doing? I told you this is the second part of the first part. Don't do that. Stop it. All right, Fran, so before we dive back into things, this is the perfect time for us to talk about something that you talked about at a point in the first part of us podcasting about Freaknik, which was how this was the first kind of iteration of a bunch of black people enjoying spring break and showing and being able to see imagery of what that looks like, because spring break has always been kind of seen through the lens of predominantly white institutions. When MTV does college spring break, it's, blonde, blue-eyed girls in bikinis and Smash Mouth and boy bands and, people in the pools dancing. It looks very lavish to somebody who is from Baltimore, or who is from a place that is not a beach side. If you're from Montgomery, Alabama, the MTV beach house looks like I'll never be there. Yeah. But Freaknik took place in Atlanta in the middle of a city. There's no beach. There's no sand. It just is black people having a good time and partying. So can you speak to what that feels like? Because I think we both can speak to this. The difference in going to, I've never done it, but I would imagine going to a country concert, and you can still have a good time at a country concert, for sure. And going to go see, Ja Rule, Fat Joe, Jadakiss, 2000s medley festival where it's like all black people that look like you, and you're not trying to fit in. You can just be you.
You be yourself. Yeah. So that's what I think that was the most important thing about this whole picnic and how it, originated, was because this is a time where you were young kids and you can go hang around people that's your age and be yourself.
Hear the music you like.
Hear the music you like as a black individual with food and drinks like that. And you guys all talk the same. And it's like, everything is like, I'm here because I can be myself. And then like, that's why it was a point where it was just like, this whole thing is beautiful. All these black people coming together to party, to have fun, and to have a good time. And it was in the article that I read that we both read that this lady said something very interesting. That she said that her name was Sonia Mary, and her point was that other people question why they didn't go to the beach during this little party instead of in the streets and hanging out. And she said the beaches weren't for black people. That's not really what black people do.
Yeah, we talk about that.
We go to go to the beach. It's like
I got an hour or two in me max.
Yeah, it's like what we do is we and we can relate to this because we've done this. Yeah, it's hanging out in the streets in our car was where we got together and had a good time and had a blast.
Had a blast. Everybody pull up cars next to each other. We got music playing. Like
yeah, man, I
don't think black people need the backdrop of a beach.
No.
To have fun, we just need the vibes.
The vibes, yep.
And this was where the vibes were.
Yep.
So like I said, like this, Freaknik was the first time that people saw spring break through a black lens.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't Carson Daly or whoever the people are on MTV, the VJs at a beach house dancing with women in bikini tops. It was real. It was like, this is what it looks like when I'm in Dearborn, Michigan. This is what it looks like when I'm in Chicago. Like this, Freaknik looks like what it looks like when I'm having fun.
Yes.
It's not, it doesn't cost money. I just got to get there.
Yep. That's
it doesn't, I don't have to have special clothes. It's not excluding me culturally or financially. And I think that the beauty of this is what made it so popular, but it also, I feel like, it's what led to its eventual demise. I think that the sadness in its demise is that if there were more places for young black people to be able to feel this, it wouldn't have happened this way. If there was Freaknik West Coast, Freaknik South, Freaknik East, or not just, or just not Freaknik, just something like where black people could go, young black people could go and feel like they're on vacation, but around people that look and feel like them, and the times we're all on the same page, instead of everybody having to go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
It made it reach maximum capacity, and then shit got bad.
Right.
But if there was multiple hubs, like people could go here and go then you spread it out.
I don't think that.
You don't think so?
I mean, yeah. That's,
it wouldn't be as epic, of course. But
epic. Like,
of
okay,
course.
you got to pick choose between going East Coast or down South. It's like, I mean, on the West Coast or down South, it's like you can't even. It's like, but then what if the Freaknik on the West Side is where it's at that year 92, and we go down South, it's like, I mean, it was cool.
And that was more dead than that's true.
It's not even like, I waste a year.
That's a good point. But I just think of it that way because, as a kid, I grew up commingling, and we're talking a lot about how much fun black people have together. That doesn't mean that we're like promoting segregation or anything like that. Like, I've had fun with all kinds of people, and my point is that these kind of things happen at Senior Week in Myrtle Beach, in Ocean City, New Jersey, where it's like a lot of young white college kids, they go and they tear up Ocean City and Myrtle Beach and Daytona Beach. They tear it up, but we don't get the same benefit of the doubt. And funneling all these young black people into one place allows for those type of things that go wrong to happen, and they're going to be amplified. Because what we're going to get into about what happened at the Freakniks later on in the years, these things happen every year. It's sad. It's terrible. You get a bunch of young dudes and young girls and hormones and alcohol, and bad things are sure to happen. But something about Freaknik and the attendees of Freaknik made it this evil, horrible, once never happened before, crazy type of thing, where it's just like, no, this type of thing happens all the time. The only difference is usually spring break looks like this.
Yeah.
It's at a beach. These are touristy towns. This was happening in the middle of a metropolitan city. And I think but that's the beauty of it. Like, that's what made it different, but that's what also made the antennas go up.
Right.
It's like, hey man, you guys aren't in the sand. Like, I'm a banker. This is a bank.
Yeah. I got to go to work, and I'm stuck in gridlock traffic.
You can't freak in front of the bank. So I think what made Freaknik so unique and beautiful also put the spotlight on it when it got bad, and it was like, okay, as soon as it got bad, it's over.
Yeah.
There's no redeeming this. Like, Daytona Beach, Ocean City, Myrtle Beach, these places can, put more police on patrol, and they want the tourist dollars because it's a tourist town. When it's not Senior Week, Beach Week, Bike Week in Myrtle Beach, it's dead.
Yeah.
Atlanta's Atlanta.
You're prepared for those because those are
that's high. What is it? High traffic.
Yeah.
High traffic season. It's high season, popular, whatever they call it. Atlanta's Atlanta 365. Atlanta's the place to be all year round. So let alone, there's multiple sports teams. There's strip clubs. It's a great place to go, Atlanta.
Yeah. But it was like,
now you add a place where it's even better.
Yeah, but it was like Atlanta was fair game when it was Freaknik. It was like this whole thing is Freaknik.
Atlanta's Freaknik.
Yeah. We touching ass, shaking ass in front of the fucking grocery store,
Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, no,
regular people walking past. Like, no, this is we party.
They're like, I'm going to work. You're like, no, man, you're a Freaknik. I'm like, no, I'm not. I live here. I'm going to work. Yeah. No, man, it's Freaknik. That doesn't mean anything to me. It's like Freaknik became. It was like 4th of July or like Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a festival. It was a holiday in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So there was, again, I want people to really understand, like, there are no borders. There's no boundaries. All you need is a plane ticket to Atlanta, and you go to the west side, east side, wherever you're going in Atlanta, it's Freaknik.
Yeah.
You don't need a ticket. You don't need to know somebody. There's cars, gridlock. People just might start shaking ass in traffic. Everywhere's Freaknik. All you need to do is get there. That's insane to me.
Can we talk about that though? Can we talk about and I think that's another part of as far as attending this was the travel.
Uh-huh.
I think that was a big part of like the fun of going.
Yeah.
The video I saw was a YouTube video, and it was a true life Freaknik video on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And they followed these two. You know how the true life episodes, they follow these two individuals, and they followed a male and a female
going to Freaknik,
and the lead up to
like them getting prepared and everything.
So the guy and his friends, these guys were in college, so they made the travel. They got an RV. They rented an RV.
They went all out.
Yeah, they rented an RV and got all fly and drove down there, and it was like, yeah, we get the RV because if the girls see us
they think
in
we're
the RV, because everybody knows like the party is in traffic. That's where it gets lit.
It's on the street. Yeah,
it's on the street. So it's like if they
you have a sound system.
Yes, yeah. They see us in an RV where we don't have a car. This is an RV where it's room.
Yeah, they can just come right out of their car into our car
to get our freak on. So we got the RV that attracts the ladies. So that was their whole thing. And then the females they went on a little shopping spree, and this is what I'm gonna wear this night, and this, and they took a plane. They got on a flight down there. So I thought it was pretty cool for them to show that them leading up and how they prepare. Like it was just a whole. It was a whole thing.
And you also got to. I know we joked around where we were like watching footage and stuff and talking about it. Where we go, it's something about people in the 90s. I don't know if it was the haircuts or the fashion or whatever. Like this person is like, I'm 21, but you look like my dad. Like you look 41.
Right.
But keep in mind, somebody 21 years old, this could be their first trip.
Yeah.
So that element of it too, like the first time I ever went on a vacation or a trip, saved money to go somewhere from Baltimore to such and such, from California, such and such, was to go to Freaknik.
Yeah.
It was my first flight. It was my first road trip with my friends. Like, so it's like that's a good point too. Like that element of it is so nostalgic and formative. Like it's the first time I hit the road and drove for 15 hours and all the stuff we did on the road down there, because we're already in Freaknik mind. Yeah. So it's something. I bet it's something about. It's just something about being young. I know what young and hormones and shit. And it's like if I'm going somewhere where I'm planning on asking girls for phone numbers and all this stuff, the vacation starts when we hit the road.
Exactly.
So driving through the different states and stuff, I'm on Freaknik mode.
Yeah, I'm riled
the whole way down. I'm like, hey, man,
down.
I'm confident. Hey, what's up, girl? You ever been? You come here often? We're just in the middle of nowhere at a Waffle House truck stop. I'm ready. Like I got to get my game right. Yeah. So like I can picture these dudes and the traveling and the the women and I got a bikini, I want to wear this I might get in a music video. Like all the excitement is bigger than just before you even get down there.
Exactly. Leading up to that was also just like when you go on a trip like now, like the preparing yourself to go on a trip that's also fun as well, because you're building up,
packing the bag, the outfits.
Exactly, man. That's the whole. It's all a part of the feel of the trip. Yeah, like just building up. It's like, oh man, this is we going out to eat, just hanging out with friends and just talking about it. Oh man,
yes. And this was the trip for everyone who was under 25 and black in America. This was the trip. It was. Some people describe it as like Mecca. Yeah. Like if you haven't been to Freaknik at least once, like what are you doing? Yeah. So, I mean, that just goes to show you how that network of grapevine phone calls and excitement have reached the masses, where people were like, you haven't been to Freaknik? Oh, you got it. Like you're missing out. Yeah. So like we just discussed, as Freaknik grew, weekend events spilled out from Piedmont Park, which was where it originated, into clubs and concert venues around town, attracting performers and promoters. Yep. But for most attendees, the attraction was not so much going to events as getting there, as we just talked about for a little bit. Former student Ayanna Brown recalls there never being flyers posted for Freaknik. We all just knew when it was, she said. We would typically leave early Friday morning, and one of the things that really resonated to me as we would be driving down to Atlanta would be us coming through Columbus and seeing all the traffic, which is like we said, I mean, it's notorious, but it's also part of it. So normally traffic is annoying, but then there's people throwing ass, there's dudes getting out of their car, drinking beers, and it's like a party in the streets, dancing in the streets, like that song. It's like everybody. It's like even the annoying parts of vacation were fun, because I hate vacation traffic's the worst. Yeah. When you get close to the beach, you're almost there. It's like just dead stop. Imagine if people just started doing the party in the middle of the streets while that was happening. You're like,
music,
that would
drinks,
make it better.
Yeah,
it'd make it better.
Car and shit.
Oh, it's crazy. That would make it better for sure. You pull out your giant camcorder it's 80 pounds because you're like, I gotta save this. People are gonna remember this. You gotta hold it like this. It looks like you have a rocket launcher on your shoulder.
Yeah. Also, speaking of that, the footage is very nostalgic because it's VHS footage. And it's that, and I don't know if you remember this, that when you look at VHS footage, it has this wrinkle, this wavy little
the wave
up it, and it's like. But the thing about that is, what made me think about it was, I had a little smile because I was like, I grew up, and I was born in the 90s, grew up in the 90s, but it's like that doesn't bother me because at one point you got used to it. But somebody younger than us see that and they go, "What the fuck?
I can't
this
watch
is annoying.
This is
Take this off." But for me, I went like,
"Do you know how many movies I watch where people stand up in the middle of the man? You know how many movies I've seen that are recorded but somebody's camcorder?
Yeah, because it's just like if my dad was watching something or my grandma was watching something in black and white, I would go, I can't get
down with this.
And they go like, "What do you? It's TV. What do you mean?" Because they at one point they were used to it, and I just sitting, I went, "Oh man, that's crazy, man."
The privilege of you youths with your high definition and your streaming.
Yeah.
You ever watch Scary Movie 2 and a dude is laughing at the jokes that you find funny too, and then you can't hear the next joke?
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about struggle, okay? We used to watch TV with it used to have waves. It wasn't barely definition. Yeah. Standard definition is what we grew up on. Yep. SD. Ever heard of it? Wasn't no P's, 1080p, none of that. Yeah. Standard definition.
Man.
And if you were lucky, there weren't people standing up in the middle of the movies you got from the barbershop. You could hope you got a good one. You hope and pray. Yeah. Like, so after this, you want to go to Applebee's and get it? I'm trying to watch the Titanic right now.
Somebody got popcorn in the hand. Can't see the best part of the movie is on. Fucking guy. He's out of all people, he's 7 foot tall. This fucking guy.
I have to tell you, Jack, I'm actually from. Somebody's next telephone goes off right when it's about the big plot twist of the movie, right. And they answer the phone. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just at the movies right now. Yeah, no, I'll call you after I get out of here. Now we don't know what happened.
Don't know what happened.
Lost. We don't know what happened. This is the life we lived.
Crazy, man.
So, in talking about the traffic, this element of Freaknik it wasn't made evident until the spring of 1993. This was the year that Freaknik peaked, seeing more attendees than it ever did before in the decade-long tenure as the de facto spring break party for young black students. So in 1993, this was the most traffic, the most people, the most like everything negative. This was the most everything. So this is when local city officials, local residents, people really started to go, I don't like this. Yeah. Like for years, because again, like you said in part one, there was a lot of, hey man, listen, it's black people, young black people, they got something to do. Let's not demonize them. Like, let them have their fun. Yeah. They let that go a lot longer than I think they could have. It was annoying up to a point. I mean, it was annoying before 1993. It was traffic and it was people couldn't come in, because Freaknik's one weekend, but I'm here for the Atlanta Hawks game. Yeah. I can't get a hotel. Right. And people go, well, it's money coming in and it's young black kids and they're in college and they're doing good things. They're doing all the right stuff. Like, let them have some fun. And 1993 was the first year where people went, I don't really think I can keep letting that fly. Yeah. Because this guy's 40. I don't think he's just a young kid trying to let some steam off. Like, this is just a man.
Yeah, this is a grown-ass man down here.
This is a grown man down here. He's not from here. He's littering. He keeps saying, where the freaks at? Yeah. He's belligerently drunk. It was a lot more of those people. So I think all the locals were that sentiment of it's AUC and Morehouse men and Spelman women, and they're just trying to let some steam off and let them get their degrees and black excellence. And it started to like wane.
Yeah. Especially when they couldn't predict what the crowd was going to be like. When they expected a certain number and it tripled that number, they went like, there's no way we can.
And the radius kept like, it was Piedmont Park and then the gas station across from Piedmont Park. Then it's like Piedmont Park now it's way out. It keeps expanding. Yeah. So now it's starting to affect people's day-to-day life even more. Yeah. So it started to get out of hand. So gridlock traffic stretched for what seemed like forever on the streets of Atlanta. Mm. And while trapped commuters seethed and at the standstill of the traffic, students got out of their vehicles and danced in the street. All weekend long, the party rolled from Piedmont Park to Peachtree Street to Lakewood to the West End, blocking residents in their home and bringing businesses to a halt. People literally could not leave their house.
That's crazy.
Again, this is not Daytona Beach. This isn't even Miami. Miami's a city. Like nothing happens in Miami that gridlocks everything. At least not to my knowledge. This is a major city, Atlanta. You can't have people not being able to come out of their house.
Yeah.
Like they didn't sign up for this. We're not talking about like retirees in a beach town and they know what to expect at this point, like because it's like beach weekend. Like no, people don't expect this in a major city. You can't tell me I can't come out of my house. So, 93 Freaknik also rode the wave of a musical and cultural shift with acts like 2 Live Crew ushering in a new era of raunchy rump shaker music, with the founder of the crew, Luther Uncle Luke Campbell, even showing footage of the 93 Freaknik in his video for the song Work It Out.
Yeah.
So again, like we talked about them being in a Spike Lee movie on A Different World. You got to keep in mind, School Days is about what? College kids.
Yep.
A Different World is about what? College kids. Uncle Luke showing ass rump shaking in a music video. Who's that going to bring? Not college kids?
Everybody.
Yeah, it's like anybody who likes freaks.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, Uncle Luke is down there and is freaks down there?
Yeah.
So now, again, you start to strip away the elements of what made Freaknik beautiful. Now you start to see less Morehouse and just college sweatshirts, and that element is starting to be stripped away.
Yeah.
And now it's just about the hip hop and booty shaking and getting drunk and fun. And so now when Uncle Luke, not to put it all on him, but I'm just saying when it became more about hip hop and music and concerts, now it's not about college at all.
No, the essence of the Freaknik was it didn't matter.
It was gone.
It was gone. It was gone.
It was just a party.
So it's just a party. Now it's a free
It didn't
party.
finals week. It didn't matter. It was nobody.
It's a free.
I haven't
party,
taken a
man.
test since 12th grade.
I didn't school. I don't give a damn.
I'm 37
I'm
years
down here
old.
For the freaks. Where the
I'm
freaks?
here for the freaks. The only final I'm trying to get is last call when this club closes, so we can go to the after spot for more freaks.
Yeah.
That's the only final I'm concerned about. So all the elements of what made it forgivable and fun and innocent are now gone. Uncle Luke is here, and he's talking about dicks and rump shaking and all this stuff. College is not a part of this anymore. And I think that there's something so wild about that. It's like Frankenstein's monster. You know, like this all started from a DC Metro social club. And I bet that those people probably hung around for a bit. And as the people, you know, with notoriety.
Yeah.
We started this like, yeah. And tried to be like, hey man, don't come down here. And but then 1 year, that face you just made. 1 year they were at a club or a party at a Freaknik sanctioned event or something that said Freaknik on it, and they went, hey man, how about y'all calm down? Somebody went, man, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
Who are you? And that's when you go, oh, this has gotten bigger. Nobody can control this anymore. No. You know, that's a scary moment when you go, I started this. It was a fun thing. And I tried to swing my weight a little bit to try to control it and go, hey guys, look, this is Atlanta. We're all college kids. No, I'm not. Shut up. Hey man, turn the music back up. Who is this? Take the mic from him. You go, oh shit, I'm Rico Brown.
So?
And who the fuck is that? I named it Freaknik. Man, get boo.
Right.
Like that happened to these people eventually. I feel like, you know, eventually they had to go, oh, this is bigger than us now. We've lost control of this.
Yeah. Also not making a dime. Like you're not getting.
Yeah, this
nothing.
is, but think about this though. This is clout. This is before we know what clout is, anything like that. Being the person who started Freaknik, I'm sure it came with some perks. You're getting into the parties and, you know, getting shouted out on the microphone. Like you might not be getting any money, but having the clout, everybody likes freaks.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I
I
don't think before the 90s, the prime years, maybe.
They weren't getting like recognition.
They wasn't getting recognition. It was too many people. And
by the time Uncle Luke came down there, people care about Uncle Luke, not Rico Brown.
Because like you said, it was just you just went. It wasn't a events. You know, the names that didn't matter. It was just like we come down here at this date to have fun. There is no somebody organized this. No, that doesn't matter.
It's just Freaknik again.
That's it. That is it.
It's just it's the time of the year where Freaknik happens.
And there are artists and producers down there that have bigger names than you.
Yeah, I don't care about Rico. I don't give a shit about Rico Brown. Snoop Dogg's here.
Right. Jermaine Dupri is over there. I don't give a damn about the damn Rico Brown.
Hey man, shout out to Rico Brown, man. I'm sorry you catching straight bullets like this. It's just you're the guy that's named it.
That is it. That is it.
Like, hey man, let me get on the mic real quick. Hey, y'all, how about y'all hold it down over there in the corner? You know, we got to be respectful of the ladies.
Who is this?
Where's Snoop? Where's Snoop at? Call him.
Where's Snoop? Boo! Like,
well, I just want to say I'm Rico Brown, actually the creator of the name Freaknik.
we don't care. We don't care. We don't care. Like, damn, that's when you go, oh, this shit is out of hand now.
You don't matter anymore.
You don't matter at all. So, and I think that was not made any more apparent than the 93 Freaknik. So, like I said, like this hit every new metric it hit. It was the most attendees, the most famous celebrities. It was the most money that had come in. Everything had topped. And this is when it peaked. Yep. This was the biggest yet. And now, coming off the heels of that success and being in the Uncle Luke music video, people seeing rump shaking going on in Atlanta, the 94 Freaknik was slated to be epic.
Yep.
City council allocated $175,000 for security and cleanup. So they were prepared. You know, word got around and they had preemptively put into place measures to help with the chaos.
Yeah.
This is the first time they'd done this. As far as Freaknik is concerned, it was feature acts were set in place to perform, such as Snoop Dogg and Queen Latifah. And this is UNITY, Queen Latifah, which is also an interesting dichotomy because I feel like Queen Latifah would not want to be somewhere where dudes are trying to grab women's asses without their consent. I feel like that's very anti-Queen Latifah's sentiment. Who you calling a bitch?
Yeah.
And then she, but again, this is where the money's at. And this might not be the word. People might not know it's like women are being fondled. And this is like, it's 150,000 people in one place.
Yeah.
And they all have money and they're looking to go see some performances. So I'm going to go down there and make some money.
Yeah.
And we're some of the most popular artists of the time. So the 1994 Freaknik consisted of performances from popular artists, weekend-long parties, and gridlock traffic freak fest in the middle of Peachtree Street or Avenue, which was like the one, like it's like Ocean Drive in Miami, like the one big long street. Mm-hmm. Peachtree had a lot of traffic, and that's where people would turn the music up and just be gridlocked and freak. Freaknik 94 drew a crowd of 200,000 attendees, 70,000 of whom turned out for a Saturday concert in Piedmont Park, which is where Freaknik was founded.
Yeah.
It went from, I think the first one had a couple thousand people at the park, kids left behind from spring break, to 70,000 people in a park.
That's a lot
for a concert. In a decade. Is the first Freaknik was in 83. We're now in 94. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's all word of mouth.
Yeah. Steadily going up every year.
Exponential growth, man. It's just the grapevine aspect of this is so crazy that it grew like this only off of word of mouth. Word of mouth got it in the Spike Lee movie. Word of mouth got it in the Uncle Luke video. Like everybody just found out this was the place to be.
Yeah.
And then too many people found out. Like anything good, too many people found out it was the place to be.
Always get ruined that way. That's not always get ruined.
Every time. So the music industry invaded Atlanta, and it went from a weekend for young academics to blow off steam to a weekend filled with rappers and celebrities, with people from all over the country cramming into Atlanta to get a taste of the moment. I gave some allusions to what I wanted to talk about in part one, but researching this gave me big Coachella vibes, where Coachella, everything I've heard of Coachella ever from anybody that I know that has gone is like, Coachella sucks, it's hot, you barely go to any of the shows, but everybody just wants to get a picture at Coachella to say they were at Coachella.
Yeah.
And I think at a point, Freaknik became a place just you wanted to go and have an experience and say you went to Freaknik. Right. I don't care who's performing. I don't care about college or black academics. I don't care about any of that. This is just the place everybody's telling me I need to be. So it's almost like if you want to be an influencer, you want to have some clout, you want to have a story to tell, you got to say you went to Freaknik for your spring break.
Yeah.
What's a spring break without Freaknik? So now it's a spring break. I got to go to Freaknik. That's what you do. By 95, the fall of Freaknik had begun. Restaurants announced plans to close, and some hotels refused to take reservations during the weekend of Freaknik. So there were places that were actually like boarding themselves up, closing for the weekend. They did not want the money. They didn't want the chaos. They didn't want the money. Didn't matter anymore.
Nope.
So this is full tipping point. Now it started up so good, money. Now it's like, oh, all money ain't good money.
No,
I'm closing up. I don't want people in here. They come in, they make I don't even want the money. It's not. As a matter of fact, I can't even really get the money because it's so overwhelming that I can't even match the demand. Like, it's nothing worse than, there's a difference between a good, like, I know people that, I had friends when I was younger in the service industry. And there's a difference between, I had a crazy night bartending or a crazy night serving. I made $500, I made $800. And, from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 9 o'clock at night, I was in the weeds. Everybody was mad at me because they weren't getting their food on time. I didn't get any tips. It just was packed and busy too much the whole time.
Yeah.
It wasn't just busy and I had a flow, but no, it was too busy. Tables of 15, 20 people. We didn't have enough food. Everything was out of stock. Yeah. People are mad at me. They're running out on their checks to go to somewhere else because we're taking too long. I barely made any money. And I was stressed out, getting cussed at, and had a terrible weekend. That's the point that Freaknik got to, where it's like, just close.
It's not worth it.
So, like I said, hotels started refusing reservations, restaurants threatened to close, and for the first time since 1936, Atlanta's Dogwood Festival was rescheduled. I didn't do any research into what the Dogwood Festival is, but it was happening since 1936, and then they rescheduled it. They didn't want to be down there for it. So, yeah, whatever it is. So, some 600 residents and businesses formed the Freaknik Fallout Group and threatened to sue the city. Because of like the turmoil that this Freaknik is causing to local residents. They threatened to sue the city. Like, do something, basically, is what they're trying to force the mayor's hand. And while Freaknik was now bigger than ever, it was no longer seen as a financial benefit to the local economy that was worth dealing with everything else that came along with it. Freaknik was now officially a public nuisance. There was no longer a positive thing to be seen about Freaknik, but it was continuing. So that's not a good mixture. Like, there's no public support in the local citizens, and it's still happening. That's just ripe for conflict. I'm a dude that I paid $250,000 for this house, and you're out here pissing out in front of my house. I come out, and I'm like, get out of here. We don't want you in Atlanta. Now that person is 35. They're not a kid. That's the thing. Like, in the early stages of Freaknik, these are kids. And what do kids, no matter how much fun kids are having, they don't want to get in trouble.
Right. Especially college kids, they got to.
Exactly. I don't want to lose my scholarship. Right. I don't want to get kicked out of school. Like, there's real stakes for them to not go too far.
Exactly.
But these are just adult people.
No.
I'll get a DUI.
I'll give a damn.
I'll get a public urination citation.
I ain't from here.
Like, I'm not.
That part.
Like, I took RV here. Like,
damn.
I'm from Oakland. Like, I'm leaving here Monday morning. I will defecate right here.
I will take a shit right on your step.
Right here on your porch right now, and leave and not think about it at all. So now that's how Freaknik really turned at that point. There was no communal, the people involved in it, they don't care about the community.
No, but I was saying, like, I think that's when, like you said, the demise, but they was trying to, when they was getting the public outcry of like, something has to change, but it was like, they was trying to compromise, where it's like,
exactly,
we still want
the money.
We want the money.
And we want the kids to have fun.
And we want people that live here, that are daily residents here, we want them to be able to commute from wherever they need to go without having any hiccups. But we gotta try to find a way to, meet in the middle somewhere. So
they tried to bridge the gap.
Exactly. So it's like, we need to, implement a traffic control, something. We could block off something. We gotta do something.
None of it worked. And they refused to see the signs of that until it was too late.
Yeah.
They've refused it because I think also a part of it probably for the local government was, hey man, like, these kids, they live here. Like, they might not be here forever, but they go to school here. Yeah. So after this weekend, they care. Like, it might be getting a little crazy, but at the end of the day, like, they are Atlanteans or whatever. Like, they are, until they graduate, they live here. So we want them to have a good time here, and this is Wakanda. I know they weren't calling it that then, but like, Atlanta has this history of. Yeah. It's this bastion of black excellence, bro. Like, from the politicians, one of the first black mayors in any city in the country was in Atlanta. Like, everything. Like, the way that one of the mayors implemented this rule that like any contracts that the city gets with a business has to have 30% black participation. Like, if you want street cleaners for an event, that street cleaning company, if you want to give them a contract with the city, that street cleaning company has to have like 30% black ownership. Yep. So it created all these black millionaires That's what Atlanta is. And I don't think they wanted to stifle these young black future academics and professionals. I thought they were like, let them have fun. And before they could look up and realize it, it's like, oh, this is now most of the people at this don't even live here or go here or even in college. So, and they missed the boat. They tried to compromise and change it to this and change the name and add basketball tournaments and shit. Like, and as they were doing that, the number of the scale of college students to just black kids was getting more unbalanced and unbalanced. Like, and then when they looked up and it was 94, and they go, I don't even know if anybody at this thing goes to school here or is from here, and they weren't. A lot of them weren't, and that's when it's like, shit. Well, this shit is out of hand.
Yeah,
this shit is severely.
But that was also hurting because like it wasn't what it used to be. Like even if it was like peaking at,
you couldn't defend it anymore.
You couldn't. Yeah, because it was like, well, we used to just ride the streets or whatever, but now it's like, now this is blocked off. There's restrictions. Now it's like, well, this is not what it used to be as us college kids that are down here. But the people that come from out of state, it was like, shit, whatever. I mean, like,
I don't care.
I don't give a damn.
I like this better.
It's fun.
You also got to you got to also take yourself back to 94, 95. Uncle Luke, his music was like illegal.
I know that.
So you're talking about like his music was too inappropriate. So you're talking about that element of young hip hop and Snoop Dogg and these people, the controversial hip hop music. Now you add that element of it to it in Atlanta, and it's like it's just bringing in a different crowd.
Right. Yeah.
The crowd has just really changed. And the mayor attempted, this is crazy, but the mayor of Atlanta attempted to negotiate with the mayor of New Orleans to shift Freaknik there. No. And the mayor was like, nah, bro, we got Mardi Gras. We got Mardi Gras down here. Like, we're good, right? You that's your thing. We're okay. So they tried to shift it, and it did not work. Nope. Because why? It doesn't have anything to do with, it's not about college anymore. It's not about, like, nobody has control over this anymore. Freaknik is Atlanta. Atlanta is Freaknik. The mayor cannot tell people like, hey man, actually Freaknik is in New Orleans now. Cause who's the queen bee of that?
Yeah.
It's not the mayor of Atlanta. There has to be a person that goes, I'm the founder of Freaknik and you all acknowledge me as that and respect me as that. And now I'm saying to all of you, we're going from Atlanta to New Orleans. There is no person like that. No. Freaknik is just the Atlanta weekend. Yeah. It's not an organized event. And I think I don't think they could understand. They thought it was way too late. They didn't recognize that this had just become its own thing a long time ago.
Because it was organized in a way. It was like it was at a park. This is where and then it was like, all right, well, so it started flooding into the streets. It's like, okay, well, now we don't have any control of this anymore. Well,
what they did was they also like other things that they tried to do is organize in a park.
Right.
So by like 5 years in, when it got a little bit out of hand, they tried to make it harder to get a noise ordinance permit for you to play music in Piedmont Park. Okay. And that's part of the reason that it started to funnel out, because it's like, okay, well, I'll just play music in my car, or I'll play music over here, or we'll do a little thing over here. It doesn't have to be at the park. And that aided in it growing and growing out, because it's like, okay, well, then it's not at Piedmont Park. Maybe we'll do one thing at Piedmont Park when we can get permission, but when we don't have permission, we'll go here or go there or go over here. Yeah. And like they found a way around everything. Like, we're here to have a good time. We're here for the freaks. You telling us we can't go to Piedmont Park is not going to stop me from trying to organize something to get the freaks to come out. The freaks come out at night anyway. Like, okay, we can't have a park picnic at 3:00 in the afternoon. The freaks come out at night anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna get my freak on. It doesn't matter.
Listen. No matter what you're talking about, Mayor Dinkins or whoever the mayor is of the time, I'm here to get my freak on. You think I rented a Cruise America RV for nothing?
Nothing? Nah.
You think I filled that thing up with Cavassier and Hypnotic to make Incredible Hulks for nothing? No, man, you're out of your mind. Right. I'm here to freak.
Now move.
Don't make me get aggressive, because I'm not from here. I will catch a light assault charge and have a warrant in Atlanta and never come here again.
Never come here again. That'll be it.
Affirmative Murder is brought to you by HelloFresh. Take a bite out of summer with HelloFresh. From chef-crafted seasonal ingredients to their new fresh and fit summer menu, HelloFresh brings flavor right to your door. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your front doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. And HelloFresh gets that you want options when it comes to making food for dinner, not just the same old thing. That's why they offer up to 40 recipes to choose from every single week, so you'll never get bored and can always find something new to try and love. And obviously in the summer months, you're doing a lot of trips and traveling, so when you get home, it's nice to have a box of HelloFresh waiting for you, and you got dinner ready in less than 30 minutes. It's a really good option for me when I don't feel like going to the grocery store, and it's always fun to cook. Put some music on, just lose track of time. Just go to HelloFresh.com/50hysteria and use the code 50hysteria for 50% off plus free shipping. That's the number 50, 50, HYSTERIA. Use that code and get 50% off your order plus free shipping. Once again, that's HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Affirmative Murder is brought to you by Rosetta Stone. Do you have plans to travel abroad soon? Maybe you met abroad or a fellow on one of these dating apps. Or maybe you're just trying to decipher the latest fire Bad Bunny lyrics. Whatever the case may be, if you're looking to learn a new language, then Rosetta Stone is for you. Rosetta Stone is the most trusted language learning program around. It's available on desktop for a more stationary user, or it can be used as an app on a phone or a tablet if you're more on the go. Rosetta Stone teaches you through immersion. Instead of memorizing and drilling vocabulary words, you learn by matching audios from native speakers to visualize reading stories, participating in dialogues, and other practical language skills to fast-track your ability to communicate fluently. Rosetta Stone offers over 20 languages, from Spanish to French, Italian and German, to Chinese, Korean, and Japanese, and even Dutch, Arabic, and Polish. And right now, they're offering lifetime memberships. If you buy into the program right now, you get forever access to all lessons for all languages and literally never pay a renewal fee. Rosetta Stone has been in the game making people bilingual for over 30 years, and it's been around that long because it works. They know what really works when it comes to getting you started with a language, helping you remember what you've learned, and motivating you to stay on track. I went to Europe last year and I didn't use Rosetta Stone to try to learn French. Went there, offended a pastry chef, and he threw a baguette at my head. So the next time I take a trip, I won't be making that mistake again. I will be learning the language through Rosetta Stone. So don't put off learning that language any longer. There's no better time than right now to get started. Just open up your internet doohickey, go to Rosetta Stone, sign up today. Affirmative Murder is brought to you by Drizzly. Gifting is hard. This isn't breaking news. But what might be breaking news is that you can now send beer, wine, and spirits right to your friends and family with Drizzly, the go-to app for alcohol delivery. Which is fantastic news because adult beverages are the only gifts that no one ever returns. And Drizzly's tailored experience lets you find the perfect drink for the occasion, no matter what it is. You'll save time by shopping a huge selection of drinks from wherever you are. You'll save money by comparing prices on said drinks from across a bunch of stores. And you'll get to spend more time sipping on those bevies with your giftees. You know, if they're the sharing type. Not like Fran. Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com and get your favorite drinks delivered today. Ding dong, it's Drizzly. Oh, that was terrible. Must be 21 and over, not available in all locations. Back to the pod. Oh, man. Yeah. So again, according to Ayanna Brown, somebody I spoke about in part one, she said that by 1995, you had the airport locked up. Like it was just packed. Everything was jam-packed. She said people were coming from everywhere. So the tone of Freaknik started to change. She said, I can remember seeing middle-aged men in their cars and thinking, why are you here?
Yeah.
Man, I'm here for the freaks, man. Go ahead and get you a little soda up out of the trunk there. I got a cooler back there. You know, go ahead and treat yourself, girl. It's like 19 and 20. Just gross, dude. It got gross. Freaknik got gross. It was no longer the young college fun thing. It was like it got gross. And then, like all things, when that starts to turn, now the ratio changes. And when the ratio changes, that's when it gets dangerous.
Yep. And it's like
when it's 5 to 1, 5 men to every one woman, and not woman, young girls, and middle-aged 30 grown men. You know, so the turn had officially begun. Freaknik 1995 wrapped up with grim reports. The rape unit at Grady Memorial Hospital had treated 10 victims, far more than in any typical weekend in Atlanta. Police made at least 93 arrests, and there were reports of looting in underground Atlanta and Greenbrier Mall. and 3 people were shot.
Yep.
So the 95 Freaknik was the last straw.
Yeah, that was it.
It was the culmination of all the fears and all the complaints and everything people thought it was going, and it lost its spirit and what it was originally supposed to be. It all came to fruition at the 1995 Freaknik. I'm sure there were cases of, reports of women being like, I was just dancing and then, it got out of hand. And, but in 1995, there were like real reports, like real concrete rapes happen, shootings happen. The demise had come for Freaknik in 1995.
Rapes, sexual assault, like you said, the looting and the shooting. It's like, okay, now it's like, again, and when we spoke on these college kids, was like they have more to lose when it became just grown men coming here and partying. Like you said, the ratio.
With nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. And the ratio drastically changes. That's when it's just like you got women. There were cases where, like you said, women being sexually assaulted, women were being chased, women were being groped up by two to three men, mauled, shirt over there, skirts up and shirts is like
felt up, grabbed
and
on.
Like there were instances where a lady was being mauled by 3 dudes, and a guy had to come in and help her escape from these disgusting men trying to touch upon her. Because like. Again, now we can speak on this as men. They hear freak, and it's like, oh, there's women there that's open to whatever, and they flood that.
When fun devolves into chaos, women are the first ones in danger. Yep. So see, us as young men, I don't want to speak. I'm not that guy, and you're not that guy. So but I don't want to speak us up and whatever. Right. But I'm just saying, like, we know how to go and have a good time and everything like that, right? But women don't get to do that. No. When it like for me and you, when shit gets crazy and we start seeing shit get crazy, we get to just go, man, it's too much bumping and people pushing.
I'm out.
Let's go.
I'm out.
But a woman is the reason we're getting bumped is because there's some woman like being pulled. Yes. I want to dance with her now. No, I want to dance with her. And all these women signed up to go to Atlanta to put on a bikini and dance and have a good time. Yep. But as soon as you dance and have a good time, it's dudes coming over there want to grab your ass, and then one dude grabs your ass. Now 15 dudes want to grab your ass, and it's like animals. Yeah. So Freaknik is known for these gridlock traffics, right? So I saw footage of women being like, okay, we're gridlocked. Let me pop my top half out of the car and do a little dance. And then dudes like yanking them out of the car, like the rest of the way out of the car, and like they're trying to fight to get back in the car with their friends, and it's like 20 dudes swarming on them. Now they get back in the car, they don't have a top on anymore.
Right, like there's like that and dancing, like that's some universal signal for men to go like, oh, they are sending me some type of signal. It's like 1,000 other men all thinking alike. We're like, no, they're doing that for me to get my attention.
Consent is not a thing anymore. It's like she's dancing, I want to grind on her. No, I want to grind on her. No, I want to freak dance on her. And the woman's autonomy, her thoughts,
they don't have that.
Nothing of that. It doesn't matter anymore. She's just a body that we want to fondle. That's what it became. Women, and listen, I think that both women and men, sometimes, it's fun to be objectified a little bit. Sometimes it's fun to be young and it's just your body and we're having a good time. But when that turns, it's dangerous for women. Yeah. Because dudes can go down to, if you're a good looking dude, you go down to Freaknik and the women are throwing themselves at you and you go have a great time at Freaknik. But the reverse of that is scary when you're like a pretty girl or, a girl that's down there to have fun and 30 dudes are throwing themselves at you. That's dangerous. Yeah. It's scary. It's not fun. It's not funny. It's not, and then especially when it's now the ratio, you're the only girl at the party. Yep. Like it's not safe. And I hate to frame it that way when we're talking about this Black festival, because that's not how it started. It didn't start as something. It started as something women, men, boys, girls, young kids. Like, it's just a fun thing. And by the time it ended, it had gotten so big that it was not safe for women to be there.
It was not safe for anybody to be there.
It wasn't safe for anybody to be there. I mean, people being robbed, shot. Yeah. Like it got completely out of hand. But this is what happens when you, like, I used to go to Firefly in Delaware, and you got Bonnaroo in Tennessee, and you got Made in America in Philadelphia. These are festivals. 40,000 tickets. When we sell 40,000, the 40,000 ticket, That's it. Nobody else can come in here. It's closed off. We've hired security. We have fences. We have organized events. There's food. There's water. Like, it's an event. Freaknik was literally just Atlanta. Was a free-for-all.
It's like a big house party.
It's like a big house party, and then the police can come, but where are they going to send you? They can't kick you out of Atlanta. Like, there's nowhere to kick you out of. There's nothing to close. You can shut down this party where Snoop Dogg is performing, but like, there's 50 parties happening tonight all over Atlanta. It was, I don't know if we'll ever see something like this again. Again, like we talk about senior week, we talk about, kids in college go down to Daytona Beach and stuff, but it's not this hub where hundreds of well, actually, let me take that back. Because during COVID, I remember one of the senior weeks or something, Miami got crazy. Like all the kids were cooped up.
Back up.
When stuff started opening up back, and kids were like sick of listening to rules, and it got. But think about what it had to be like. The world had to shut down, and then the door had to crack open a little bit for people to lose their minds. This was just a grapevine party. Yeah. I don't think we'll ever see anything like Freaknik again. Let's go ahead and close things out before we get into talking about the future of Freaknik or events that could be like it in the future, anything like that. So what happened with Freaknik, funny enough, is that in 1996, Atlanta announced that it was going to be hosting the Olympic Games. Mm-hmm. So because it had this big spotlight on itself, it cleaned house. They banned Freaknik that year that the Olympics was happening because the optics. They didn't want it to look bad. They hired more security. They gave police more overtime. Like, they locked down and cracked down in every way possible and made the place beautiful. Because that's what you do when the Olympics is basically like an audition for the world. Like, come here for tourism. Yeah. Look how beautiful Atlanta is. And so they did not want any shootings, sexual assaults, trash, any of that. They didn't want any of that. So they cracked down on Freaknik that year in 1996. The last attempt at Freaknik was made in 1997 under the name Spring Jam. And I actually have a clip from that party. And it might even be, interestingly enough, the thing you were talking about, which was True Life. Okay.
Females were sexually assaulted to a severe point, and where they had to receive lots of medical attention.
Reality-wise, people don't know how to act, for real. Because we already seen a couple of women get felt up. And if it wasn't for the police, anything, somebody could get raped. Maybe more than somebody, a couple of people could. Yeah. Y'all ready? Come on.
They started out, there's a great walk around in downtown Peachtree. There was a couple of girls to the right of us, then they was dancing on top of a cart. Let me see you drop to the ground. Come on, girl. So they was dancing, and guys was grabbing them a little bit, but they couldn't reach them. So then we was just chilling, watching them dancing. So then we turned around, and this other girl was dancing with some other guy, some guy that was in the crowd. One girl, she had an all-white dress on, and they had her on stage. She got up there, she just danced a little bit. By the time we turned around, it just got ugly. We just saw this girl getting her clothes just ripped off. She was getting mauled. It was like a swarm of bees just attacking her all at one time.
And so that in the clip is so crazy, because what I want people to picture, I mean, obviously there's women listening, so they don't need to picture. They know the experience, or hopefully not, I don't know. But what I saw in that is there's women down there. They see a guy that they think is attractive, or maybe not. They just want to dance on somebody, and they pick a guy to dance on. And the sign, and freak dancing in public at this thing with a person that maybe you want to hook up with, maybe you don't, maybe you just want to dance on this one person, led to 30 other men attacking her and ripping her clothes off. So, like, you're down there for fun too as a woman. Like, you're down there to have a good time and do whatever it is that you want to do, and you can't. That's not a right that a woman has in this world. To, like, dance and be silly and get a little drunk and make some bad decisions. Like, no. You can't be drunk, especially not at Freaknik. No. At this point. Maybe early Freaknik, I don't know. But at this point in Freaknik, you can't get drunk and, make stupid decisions or not have your wits about you, or, go home with somebody you don't know. All the things that men get to do when we're young, and be dumb and like, yeah, man, I didn't even know her name. And women don't get to do any of that. But in this environment, you don't even get to like dance with your girlfriend. You don't even get to be two girls like, let's dance with each other, girl. Like, no, because what's up? Because what's up?
Yeah, because a group of guys are coming over to see you guys dance. Like, oh, we want a part of this. Like, I mean, in a group, I mean like 10 guys in a circle around.
Yes,
like
predatory.
Crazy.
It was like it's like seeing gazelles down by the watering hole and a bunch of lions. It's truly the other part that's sad. And this is not solely Freaknik. This is just the world. But that guy that you picked to dance on, when that shit goes sideways, it's just like a awkward laugh and be like, damn, that's crazy. I don't know. I didn't know her. So, and they will leave you deserted.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just like the guy that was talking about that, and I think it was from True Life. I'm not sure. He had like a Packers jersey on.
Yeah, that's the one.
He was sitting in an RV.
Yeah, RV.
He was sitting in an RV. Mm-hmm. The way he was like, and then they just started mauling her, man. It was crazy. But like, they didn't show me any footage of him doing anything.
No. But the thing is about that, like, we used to, not to this extent to like sexually assaulting women, but we used to see this when we were kids and going to little parties where like there were a group of girls, and then as teenagers we go over there, it's like, and you surround them. I hate to use the word predatory at that age, but it's still the same.
But it's learned early.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, no, we talked about some of the parties that we went to when we were in middle school with our friend RIP, those kind of parties. Yeah, there's a lot of like surrounding people, pushing people in. No, y'all dance together. Yeah. It's a lot of like, but it's innocent. Exactly. But it can turn not innocent quickly. Yeah. You know, it can turn not innocent so quick. It's such a thin line between innocent and assault or discomfort, unwanted groping. It can turn that quickly. I saw it. The clip I was playing, the women were having a blast.
Yeah, good old time.
They were on top of cars. They were having a great time. And then 8 dudes start grabbing their ass and their vagina. And now it's not fun. I consensually started dancing, and now I'm being assaulted. Yeah, that quickly. Nobody made them dance, but why don't I get to have a good time and dance?
Exactly, man. Exactly.
You know, here's the thing I expect to see if this documentary ever sees the light of day is a lot of dudes who were complicit in women being sexually assaulted and raped talking fondly about Freaknik, and a lot of women talking about what a terrible experience Freaknik was. I think it's going to be a line right down in the middle of dudes being like, man, I would go to Freaknik again tomorrow. I had a great time. It was a blast.
Yeah, it's easy.
And women being like, exactly. And women being like, it was the worst time of my life. I mean, I went down there so excited. I heard about it. All my favorite rappers were down there, and I was assaulted many times the whole weekend. I'll never want to experience that, and I can never forget it.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you have anything else to say, but I kind of wanted to end it on this. The article that we read. A lady said something about how where it was like, oh, this is the end. This is where it died out.
No, go. No, so finish it off.
There was a young lady, and she said that it was like the last. This is where the demise of it. This was it, and it was like there was a lady who was like clearly not a college student, like 30-year-old was like. On the car dancing, shaking her ass, and she was like, what are you doing? She was like, no, I'm here for the Freaknik. I'm here for the Freaknik. And it was just like, and she was like, that was like, nobody was.
We're not.
There was nobody around watching. Nobody was there. It was empty, and it was just like this grown person was down.
I just came down here to get nasty,
and it was like nobody. And it was like, it was dead. It was like maybe not even half of what it used to be. The attendees that was there. It was like nobody was watching her, and it was just like. That was it.
No, the smoldering ashes of Freaknik was like some 50-year-old woman being like, I came down here to get my freak on. It's just not fun anymore. Like, it's just a bunch of skeevy. That's the thing. Like, at some point, it's all skeevy people because all the young professionals and the kids that are graduating college and all the young pretty girls and stuff, they get the memo quick.
Right.
Yep.
Because you in the loop. Listen, you're young.
All the baddies. They get the memo. The way it was a grapevine to start Freaknik, the baddies are like, girl, no, like, that's not the place to be. Like, it's a bunch of dudes down there, but they're all broke. All the girls are down there trying to get to Uncle Luke, Snoop Dogg, and Too Short, and Jermaine Dupri. We're not going to get to them. Right. So no, it's over, girl. Let's go back to Miami
do something else.
and whatever. So now you just got it's Ratchet City.
Yeah.
Ratchet dudes, ratchet women, all commingling, chaos, and it just got bad. So like the 99, whatever they tried to do, Freaknik, that wasn't Freaknik, that's probably what that lady saw. Where it's like, oh my God, like, who are you? Oh, my name is Gladys. I got my kid. I don't have my kids for the weekend. I'm just down here to have a good time.
Yeah, shaking her ass
on her own car. It's like, it's not, you're not supposed to dance on your own
Right.
car. Like, yeah. And there's nobody over here. Who are you doing this for? Oh, I just love Frankie Beverly and Maze.
I'm doing it for the Freaknik. It's like nobody's here. Like everybody's gone. Nobody. You're like by
This
yourself.
isn't even called that anymore. This is man. This is Young College Weekend again. This is a Young Black College Weekend.
Traffic is flowing.
Yeah, it's like
Blowing a
everything's
horn.
great.
Blowing a
Yeah,
horn.
she's in the median, like she's just in the way. It's like Freaknik's a state of mind, baby. Freaknik's not a place. It's a feeling. So you're on bath salts.
You're delusional.
So there have been attempts to revive Freaknik, but nothing will ever live up to the memories of the attendees have in their heads. Unfortunately, for some it was a dream that they'll never forget, and for others it was a nightmare that they wish that they could. And that's all I really have on Freaknik, bro. Like this was a crazy time. It was such a cultural era. Like in the research that we did, seeing young Uncle Luke and hearing Too Short stories, and a young Jermaine Dupri being like from Atlanta and kind of saying Freaknik kind of was the start of my career. Like,
exactly.
Just how much influence Freaknik had, and to know that it was started by some of our cousins over there in the DC metro area. And like Go-Go was the soundtrack of the early stages of Freaknik. And it was this fun black picnic that was started by these young black academics going to a HBCU and trying to blow off some steam and save some money because they couldn't get back home for the spring break. Like the origins of Freaknik are so beautiful. As sad that is the way that it ended, but it's also incredible at what black cool and black culture built.
Yeah.
Like black people put the word of mouth out. Young black kids were like, yo, this is the place to be. And they came. Yep. Like they came in droves, and Snoop Dogg came, and Uncle Luke came. It was the place to be. Spike Lee talked about it in the movie, and this is all off of just black young energy and fun. It built this incredible thing, and then it just got out of hand. So again, this is another example. This is a bigger conversation, obviously, that I don't feel like going into, but I feel like there are a few black people who learn how to cash in on black cool. And this was an instance where nobody cashed in. All these young black professionals, probably in business school, but still young, nobody trademarked Freaknik. Like nobody, who owns the name?
Nobody.
Like, who's making money on Freaknik now when it's talked about, when it's spoke about, when there's documentaries being made about it? Because I don't think Rico Brown trademarked Freaknik. That just came from him. He's a young dude, and that when we watch TikToks and black people dancing and shit, he was just young dude and having a good time, and one was he was at the picnic. He's like, let's call it Freaknik. Yeah.
Didn't know it was going to blow up like that. No idea.
Who no idea. It's like Fleek. That girl is eyebrows on Fleek. Yeah. She just said it because that's just the creativity. And I just want us to be more conscious of like, bro, you got to marry that creativity and the business part. Because somebody's going to come along and go, oh, man, look at all this culture and money and all these people here. Nobody owns Freaknik? A 40-year-old dude will come and trademark Freaknik 10 years into Freaknik. Now they own Freaknik. Now I bet whoever they had to talk to get Freaknik made wasn't anybody that was at that first picnic. So it's just, it's sad to me that this amazing thing happened. It touched culture the way that it did, and then it just went away. And I don't think anybody really, other than like the mayors and small businesses in Atlanta, like there's nobody that was involved in the founding of this that really saw any monetary gain or anything like that. And they started this beautiful thing out of their mind. Like, think about that. A group of kids went, man, I can't get home. I don't have any gas money to get back home to DC. Yeah. Let's just stay here, cook up some hot dogs, have a cooler, whatever, have a little picnic. Yeah. Let's call it Freaknik.
Now
and then people were like,
that's where I would have been. That's where I would have been. I would have been a regular. during that time when it was.
Oh yeah, the
out?
first couple years of Freaknik.
Man.
Man, the first couple years of Freaknik were probably glorious. Good music and fun and other kids that also take the same classes as you, same majors. Like you can networking.
Yep.
You know, like everything that it was supposed to be. And then it lost that. Or not even lost it. It was kind of taken from it by people that just were there for the freaks. The name was the demise. If it started off as the Black College Weekend, it would have never been what it was, I don't think.
That's true.
I think it would have still been fun, but it would have been a Morehouse, Clark, and Spelman thing. Yeah. It would have stayed a college event.
But have HBCU being in the name as some way.
Yes.
Probably would have. It probably would have been still probably
would have kept it small. It would have kept it small. It would. I think I will go. I won't. You know, obviously, hindsight is 2020. I think if this was called the Black HBCU Spring Break Weekend Extravaganza, that's a long name, but I'm just saying. I think it would be the 40th anniversary.
It'd still be going on today.
But we wouldn't know. It wouldn't be what it was.
Yeah.
It would just be an Atlanta thing, like all the Morehouse kids and the Spelman kids know about and go to. And now I bring my kids. I'm sure it would have morphed into more of a.
Like that's fine though.
Yes, but my point, and that was my point that I initially made, is that if we had more things like that.
Yeah.
Where we don't need to know about it. It doesn't need to be the hottest thing in the world. It's just like things that I can go here, I can go there, I can go here, I can go over here. There's a spring break type of thing at this school. There's a spring break. If we had more of those things, it wouldn't be this like, oh, this is black music and black culture and young black people and beautiful black women and sexy black dudes. And we got to all go to Atlanta. If we could go to Atlanta and Chicago and California and Baltimore and just it's spread out and it just becomes like we have spaces. The demise of Freaknik was that it was the first and only space where black people saw what spring break looked like when black people spring broke. And I think if we saw it more, and the freaks, of course, we can't never forget the freaks. But I think if we saw more of it, it would become, it's that same, I have this argument with people all the time where I go, you know, the drinking age in Europe is 16.
Oh, shit, it is?
And yeah, and then we have this, I might, maybe not you, but I had this discussion with people where I go, well, why don't they do that over here? And the person I always get shot down. It's a great point where it's like, yeah, but it's been that way for like 100 years. If you made the drinking age 16 tomorrow, kids would die because they would go out of the gate. It wouldn't just be like, the logic is there's less alcoholics kind. I don't know the statistics, but like the logic is when you destigmatize it, you make it less taboo, it's not a big deal. So over in England, if you're 16 and you could drink since you were 16, there's not this whole like, oh, I turned 21 now and go crazy.
Yeah, it's not like a big thing. I get
so
that.
Over here, kids go crazy. But if you could drink since you were 16, by the time you're 20, you're like, I don't know, I have a drink with dinner. Alcohol's not a big deal to me. But if you tomorrow changed the drinking age from 16 to 21, it would take 50 years for it to become like not a big deal. And in that 50 years, a bunch of kids would die.
Fucking DUIs will go up, car accident deaths, everything. Everything.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is like if we had more of these type of things, it would be better. But you make a good point too, where you go, okay, well if we had Freaknik West and Freaknik South, it would just be crazy everywhere because people would still be going out of their minds. You need years and years of this availability of these spaces for black people to feel like they can be black people and listen to black music and enjoy black culture on spring break and vacation black. It would be chaotic for the first few years of it because it would need to level out where it becomes normal for us where we go, oh yeah, this is just vacation. And it's not at a beach, it's in a city and we're just keeping it chill. So I don't know, but the inception and the idea of Freaknik I love. I just hate what it turned into.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Fran, before we get out of here, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for a lot of things, but I do want to say that I'm upset again that now I wouldn't say I'm upset that I didn't get a chance to experience Freaknik because it sounds like a disaster. I just don't. Being around that many people is just that's too much for me. But the beginning of it,
chaotic.
The beginning of it, I wish I was born in HBCU, living that college life to see how it all flourished, how it all began. I'm upset that I didn't get to experience that. But everything after that, I'm like,
you can have that.
I'm good. Man.
Yeah, I think that I bet the first 5 years of Freaknik were really beautiful,
man,
and I'm sad I missed it too. But I'm thankful for the time that we grew up in. I'm thankful for good friends, and I'm thankful that you know, anybody that I haven't seen in a long time, the last thing I said to them was a good thing. You know, I feel confident in that. You know, if you got friends that aren't in your life anymore, reach out to them and tell them, hey, how just ask them how they're doing, because you just never know when the last day could be. So rest in peace to our friend. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get up out of here, man. I've been Alvin Williams, joined as always by my partner in true crime, Francel Evans. We'll see you guys next time.